Alrighty, folks. What's up, King Nirvana? Welcome, my friend. We in drive. Double lockjaw stars. Is the double I an octa shape, King Nirvana? Where did I just put my octa? 2 seconds ago. There it is. Oh, the double I is all right. First time playing with an octa today. Gotta get warmed up. There we go. That guy. And some lockjawed stars is what you are recommending. It's like a star hugger. That's the shape that we're talking about, right? Or this, maybe. It's when it's back to back like that. I don't know. I'll have to look out for it on the Discord. See if I can figure out what you're talking about. No magnets there. But magnets there. That's nice. Mostly because it's flat on that side, so take another one and connect it. And then keep going. Ooh, could also put the eyes there. That's kind of neat. Could also stick one right there. And now I'm going to make another couple of these lockjawed stars. Just like so, because I think that I can yes. And all I need to do is add some magnetic and geometric force to lock it all in place. Look at that. I love that. All right. King Ravana is talking about this shape right here, the double eye. And he's saying where the double eye opens, it's like a clip, this right here. I imagine is what he's talking about, but it could be this. Depends on which axis. And it works as a point. Maybe it's this way, but I think with the polarity, doesn't really line up for us there. So I feel like it's got to be this way. Well, you'll have to show me what you're talking about in the Discord, my friend. I can't wait to see it. I'm sure it's something obvious that I'm missing, but for right now, I'm missing it. However, you did kind of point me in a direction that led me right here to this really cool thing with 4 Shashibo and all 8 of my Octa. Let's see if we can get a Shashibo squared in there somehow. Ooh, I just thought of a way. This double pyramid, or this double UFO. If I split it this way, so that those UFOs are instead oriented face to face instead of point to point, then I get this nice little connection right there. And I could do that on the other side as well. Let's use our infinity to make that shape. There we go. Now we've got all 3 current members of the Shashibo magnetic family right there. I like that a lot, not gonna lie. If you guys are joining us on Instagram or TikTok, please be patient with me on the comments. I have to click over to a different window to see what you're saying. And usually this computer has to load for a while to get me there. Here we go. Shashibo Dev is over on TikTok. What's up, Shashibo Dev? Somebody just got the Halloween one, and it is really cool. Which one did you get, my friend? Did you get Ghastly Jack? This was one of the limited edition Halloween Shashibo that we just came out with. Some really beautiful designs, including a very nice spooky Ghastly Jack lantern right there. And the nice Haunted Mansion, Friendly Ghost. We also, in that series, have this beautiful design, which is a lot more artsy and colorful, with these beautiful geometric designs that complement the Shashibo quite well, and some of my favorite art that we've ever put on Shashibo. I'm so passionate about it, I knocked over the tower that I made. But that's okay. That's why we are recording the live, so we don't, so I can go back and show the world when that thing existed. Need a little more light there. Okay. What are we gonna make next, chat? Can you make a giant solid cube? I mean, I can. You know, and I could do that pretty quickly because I just happen to have a bunch of stacks of cubes around. And so this is about as big of a giant solid cube as I care to build at the moment. It would be interesting to see how many other like solid Shashibo shapes we could fit in there. That I'd be more into. But I think I've tried that before and it was challenging. Although I don't know if I had Shashibo Squared to help or Octa at the time, so maybe it's worth a second attempt. Let me know, chat. Let me know if you think it's worth it to try again. But just so you can see what's going on here, all I'm doing is stacking my Shashibo cubes. It's not a... So, this is how you would make a giant solid cube. It's just continuing the pile here. I'll cheat a little bit because I want this to go faster. Start sticking some Shashibo Squared in there. All right, stop spamming that question, my friend. I'm doing it. I hear you over on TikTok. And if you would like me to see more of y'all's comments, please hop over to YouTube or Twitch or Facebook, somewhere where your comments will show up on my homepage, and then I will see your stuff more often. I didn't know Avatar had 2 versions. Yeah, for a few of our licensed Shashibo, we had 2 versions. So SpongeBob, Avatar, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all had their own unique Walmart version. I don't think that they're still being sold in Walmart. If you find them, that's probably something to pick up because it's... I don't know of anybody who's still selling them, at least. Yeah, that was about 64 Shashibo. Or 48. Right? No. 64 was right. 64 was right. 4 groups of 16. So... yeah, pretty big cube, but I wanna do something a little more interesting. Let's start trying to incorporate some more of our Shashibo Squared, Octa, and Shashibo all in builds. I do want to give a quick tutorial I saw one of our affiliates find a shape and they weren't sure how to get there on purpose. And that shape was this one right here. This guy. So we'll show you how to get there. It's kind of a cool shape. It looks like a shape that you could make with 2 Shashibo. And that is by making 2 UFOs. So if I start by opening one section of my Shashibo, and then these 2 right down here, and then take all 3 of these sections on one side of the star and pass them through the middle of the star to make my inside-out ring, then I take that ring and start closing all of those sections into the UFO shape right here. Now I'm going to take this point of the UFO, and I'm going to attach it to this part of the other UFO, just like so. See how it's magnetically attached in there? And that is the same geometry as this guy. And there's a few things that you can do with Shashibo squared that look like Shashibo shapes. A lot of them are around the UFO because that pops up quite a bit. And the way that we're going to make that with Shashibo squared is by taking this cube right here. We're going to think of it as the 2 separate pieces, at least that makes it easy for me, that open like this, the section where you get these 3 points all coming together, because again, we want to think about these like Shashibo a little bit in this sense. So we're going to take this one and we're going to fold it back like this and just let that close up. So we have identified part of our pieces. Okay? Now, this other one, see how we've got this corner where they meet, where it opens up like 3 sections? Flip it over because we want the other piece away, the points away from that. And essentially, what I'm going to do is, while holding on to this part of my other UFO, I'm just going to grab this section right here and pull it straight back to make the other half. There's lots of ways to get to this shape. And there's lots of ways to get out of this shape. That's what I like about Shashibo squared, is it's so easy to just take one twist, one fold, and change the shape entirely. And so that's a really fun way to explore. But I hope that that helped you get to that shape again. I'll try and tag you if I can find that video again. But that's a really fun shape to make with Shashibo squared. And why don't we also why don't we use that in the build we're about to do? Okay? And that's a really great shape that works in 3s. Just gotta track down my other Shashibo squared real quick, folks. What happened here? Oh, I put them all in this giant cube. Got pranked by the internet. Hey, Sabid Herb is in the chat. What's up? There's the 2. You can kind of see where the 3rd's going to be. Alrighty, there we go. And there's all 3 of our Shashibo squared design in that same shape. There's the back end right there. Why don't we put a Shashibo in the back end? Or maybe another Shashibo squared. Ooh, that's exciting. So chat, I think maybe what I want to do is take this, the landing pad, and just place that face down and set this triangle right on top of it. And that gives us a lot of points to build off of. Oh, let me just kick my camera. Sorry, guys. Hey, Downflame is in the chat. Can you demonstrate how to make the Shashibo squared multiple color box? I absolutely can. I'm going to put this build on hold for just a second. And we are going to learn how to make this guy right here, the multicolored box. And so I'm going to back up just a little bit, because one of the cool aspects, if you don't know, about the Shashibo squared is that you can make every single shape in every single color combination. And the best way of showing that is by taking the box and showing off every single color that you can make that box. But the way that it presents in most shapes is as a dominance. For example, the double cube has the red on top and then the yellow and blue alternating around the sides. But I can make that top yellow as well as blue, of course. So one of the shapes that does that also is the shuffled box. Has two sections of yellow in this case, and then one of red and blue. So we're going to learn not only how to make that shuffled box, but how to make it and choose which color. And so, oh, camera is slightly off still. Thank you, my friend. That looks a little better, I think. So, to make the shuffled box, what we're going to do is get our Shashibo squared as loose as possible in this nice open ring. And I am going to take a section at the top. Do you see how we have kind of two sections with the color kind of split between two pieces, and one with the one large triangle of the same color? We're going to take that large triangle and we're going to close that. And whatever color that large triangle is going to be the dominant color on our Shashibo squared, okay? So it also shows up on the bottom right here. Taking that one big triangle of one color and pinching it together also makes the bottom of it connect those two yellow triangles. Okay, so we have this shape right here. We're going to grab this section at the bottom. We're going to bring it up to make this kind of wedge. That's one piece of our box already, even though it doesn't quite look at it like it. We're going to take this section right here up at the top, and we're going to bring it down so that we have this flat piece. And I'm going to fold that back so that this section comes up to be at a 90-degree angle. Now I'm going to take this red piece left over, I'm going to flip it over so that we have this shape that's all symmetrical, and take the two halves down. And that gives us our shuffled box with two yellow sections. And so, of course, if I wanted it to be two blue sections, for example, I would just take that piece right there and wrap it up the same way. There you go. Hope that helped. Okay. Now, where was I? I was playing with this build right here, and I want to figure out how to add some regular Shashibo to it, which is easy enough. And there's a few obvious ways, right? Like I could just take another UFO and slide it right in there or on top, but I want to do something a little out of the ordinary when it comes to that. So instead, I'm going to take a concert hall. And another concert hall, and attach it in the same way that I was going to with my UFO. What color do I want to use next? I love having so many options when it comes to Shashibo designs, and so many artistic ones. I like this. It's kind of making a little ring around the top there. Ooh. That's one thing that I like about having that little ring base that we added, is if at some point I really wanted to just like prop up the angle here, all I need to do is take another UFO. This is where it's helpful to be able to make shapes one-handed. I can just slide that UFO right in that base, and that gives it enough surface area to now balance at an angle. And you guys get to see a little bit more of it. Looks a little bit more like a showpiece. But now gravity is not so much our friend, because it's going to be pulling us down this way where we don't have support, as opposed to pushing down on all of these sides. So we have to be a little careful, but I think that we can manage that easily. Shashibo squared are in double UFO on the geode. Not on the geode, on the landing pad, if you're describing this build. Gonna add a couple more Shashibo squared in the landing pad shape as well here. And that is because now that I have most of my center of mass right back here in this line, I really want to widen out my build so that I can build more of it with its weight back here. And I might, just to be safe, add a little weight in the back, right here where I've got some space, just so that I don't accidentally start balancing or tilting further this way. Not at a huge risk of that yet. Landing or launch, you know, I'm pretty sure we called it landing pad, but I could be wrong. And if I wanted to add a little weight, I could add a little something like this, which is still put together from our build last week, which actually kind of almost acts as a counterweight. I could add it a couple different ways. That one would be fun, but maybe I don't want it quite so dramatic. So I'll just take one of the woven bolts out of there and just put that one piece. And I think that that looks cool. All right, so now that I've got all that together, let's figure out how to add some octa in here. Couple of ways that occur to me first would be to add some octa on this ball back here at an angle, just because I kind of like that look. What do you guys think this guy looks like? From TikTok, Matt Poe, got to figure out how Shashibo squared and octa fit together. Well, you're in luck, my friend. We're doing that right now. There are definitely a few ways. Trying to figure out what would be best. I mean, we've got kind of an obvious... Oh, the magnets repel that way. Did not see that coming. You could put it like that, which is fun. And that kind of changes up the symmetry from being a 3-point based symmetry to a 2-point based symmetry. Right down the middle. Now, I am curious if that would work with a couple UFO. Oh no! It's okay, guys, I'll fix it. No, you worry your little heads. I was just going to see if a UFO would kind of bring all that together. And it does, so that's good. I could... Ooh, do I have more Shashibo squared? Not up here. Bummer. But I could add some regular Shashibo. Like that. Ooh, that might be a little much on those magnets though. However, I have a solution. So, what I'm going to do back here, instead of having that kind of weird geometric build, which would look cool but wasn't so stable, I'm just going to add a cube in my ball, like so, and attach the ball back here where that piece was. Gives me one more magnetic connection and the same amount of weight, but keeping it a little lower over the center of gravity, which helps. There we go. I think that's kind of fun. Oh, wow. Yeah, Kimba just ordered a Shashibo squared. That's really exciting. You're going to have so much fun. It has even more shapes than Shashibo. Have no fear. It does really help you build faster. As exemplified here, I have, what, 7 Shashibo squared in this build so far? I've got, I don't know, 8, 9 Shashibo, 11 Shashibo, I forgot about 2 of them, and 4 Octa. So this is a multi-family build right here. I'm going to add some other Octa shapes though. That one would be fun. Ooh, that one's always a fun one because it's kind of a chiral shape. You can shift it back and forth like that to have different magnetic connections. Let's do another one of those. Remember, we want to kind of keep our symmetry here. You could also open it up like that. And, of course, back. I like the way that you can kind of anchor one half of this thing and continue to shapeshift from there. I think that looks pretty nice. And that, of course, gives us an opportunity to add some blossoms in there. And maybe, just maybe, okay, I think that's the right place, but, ooh, look at that, the magnets hold. Just barely. Oh, they push. So, oh, that means that I need to change my orientation. So if they push that way, then maybe... What? You know, I'm not sure, folks. I might have to do some figuring. Oh. Interesting. Connects on one but not the other. Maybe. That was my problem. One of the Octa was flipped, not the Shashibo. Look at that. So the magnets actually hold it suspended there. That is incredible. That's so cool, guys. That's so fun. And we could keep going on this. What do you want, chat? I'm going to keep seeing what I can add to this. Octa will lock your hand up for a brief second, and then you'll use Octa to lock your Shashibo builds better. Okay? There is definitely a face element to this. But which side is the face? I feel like probably that side, because I feel like these designs look like eyes. And like a little nose here. Maybe this is the disco snails that guy was singing about. Octa's pretty fun, man. Might as well get the whole family so you can see all the ways that they're compatible. All of my Octa are currently locked up in this build, which is fine, I guess. I would show you a little bit more of what an individual one does, but I don't want to take this apart yet. It's so beautiful. Now that I know that this is a snail, I gotta build out the snail, you know? And so, when I start to build out some space, but I don't want it to get too heavy, my favorite shape is the ring. The Shashibo ring. This thing comes in handy, man. Just like that. Not much weight added, but a whole lot of stability. Maybe a little too much weight still. I love that as I said that, it started to tilt off. Crazy. Yeah. But, you know what that means. We don't need to take our build apart. We just need to strengthen it. Because it's not over yet, okay? I just need to put some Shashibo in these concert halls, these stages, so that they're not the only thing carrying all the weight. Wait, guys, it's not over yet. Wait, guys. That's so funny. What if I just pretend not to notice that it all fell over? Probably would ruin the illusion when I start talking about it. All right, and what do we do when it all falls over, chat? We build it again. All right, let's see if I can remember how I had these octa attached. Okay, I think that's about back where we were. Beautiful. My masterpiece is back. There we go. That's completed the disco snail picture for me. Kimbo, you should check us out on the Discord. We've got a fun community over there. Showing off cool Shashibo shapes, helping each other out. It's been a lot of fun. You should definitely check it out if you get a chance. All right, what are we adding to this next? Do we want to make it bigger? Do we want to take it a different route? I think I'm going to take it a different route. We're going to do some tutorials. All right, say goodbye to Disco Snail. Or the disco's off the rails. Alrighty. So, since we've got a few people who are rather new, what I am playing with right now is a pretty amazing toy called Shashibo. It's a really satisfying and soothing way to fidget, and it's more than a fidget. You know, it's like a fidget with more finesse. And I really like exploring all of the really infinite ways of playing with Shashibo when you collect and connect multiple. It's been really satisfying, and it's kind of got this really cool aspect of the clicks and clacks of the magnets, and it's a really sturdy toy. Like, I've stood on one of these in a live before, and it's been a lot of fun to explore the endless geometric art that is possible with this thing. So if you haven't checked one out, you should right now, because we've got some pretty cool quantity discounts going on. King Ravana likes making water towers and inferno flames around them with Duomoto. Oh, cool. Nice. Oh my word. If I kick my camera one more time. How's that? I think we're looking good. Goodness gracious. One of the woes of having long legs. One of my favorite things to explore with Shashibo are things that really show off how infinite Shashibo can be. And one of those things is this connection between chairs, or what we call this shape or seat. And it's this connection right here where you take one hood, like the hexagonal tab here, and you take the cube side of that that's kind of inside out, and you flip it just like so over this corner. And you can kind of see the magnetic seam of the Shashibo right there. That is the section that you're covering with that piece. And then you just go around in a circle, well, kind of a circle. You go around until you've completed 360 degrees of connection, is more accurate, to make this cool pinwheel shape, which looks finite, right? But as it turns out, if I were to take another one, I can get it to interact just like that and continue using that seat shape in the same connection that I just had. Same exact connection right around the whole way. Then you can see where I could take these sections, these pieces, and connect them to each other the whole way around and just make a field of that cool geometry, which looks, it almost has like an MC Escher quality, you know? Completely flat on that side. Of course, you can also connect these back to back. Now, I've saved the most satisfying connection of these for last, which is this connection right here. Now, for that connection to work out, we need to make sure that those seats are going around in the same spiral. And an easy way to do that is to build them in unit like this, because then you can just take both halves and have them connect. And that in itself is also infinite, because you could take sections of 8 like this and continue to connect them face to face. It's a really neat one. Another shape like that, one that's very near and dear to my heart, around this swan shape right here. I can take this tab and I can put it through the center of my swan infinitely. Now, the third one presents a little bit of a trick, because look, I've got to put my tab through the hole, and there's already the point of the one before it there. So I just need to open it up and push the point of that one that's in my way out of my way, so that I've got a little gap there, and I can put this tab right through, and then I can just close it all up again, and it's that nice solid chain. And I can do that chain infinitely. You can do that over and over again with as many Shashibo as you have. However, with the 8 that I have right here, there happens to be just a really cool way of making something that looks kind of complete. Now, this is for the modest collector. If you have 8 Shashibo, you can do this at home. And that is, take a ton of those swans and just keep that chain going for a full 8 Shashibo. And if you take both ends of that long chain and bring them together like this, and take this tab from your first Shashibo and pass it through, just like you have been, weaving it, and then take that point, push it down, tuck it all in, you get this really satisfying wheel. There's an even bigger wheel that you can make with 52 Shashibo, 52 or 54, something like that. Anyway, if you have that many, 2 more doesn't matter. With 52 or 54 Shashibo, you can do that same chain, and instead of bringing it around like that, instead bend it this way. See how when I go like that, there's just a little bit of curve without putting any stress on the Shashibo, just a little bit of curve. And if you keep that curve going for 52 Shashibo, then you can get them all connected in one giant wheel. And the funny thing about that is, before I figured out how to make this much simpler wheel with 8 Shashibo, I figured out how to make that 52 Shashibo wheel, which is making it way more complicated on myself, as per usual. Down Flame has to go shopping soon. Put in headphones and keep us in the background, my friend. What are you making excuses for? Nah, I'm kidding. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you gotta go, you gotta go. I appreciate your participation in the chat, and share with a friend before you leave. Shashibo Slackjaw and Double Eye Latch moving structures. There's about 60 things you can make with a moto that we found. Cool. Adding Z to this. Oh, adding Z's to this is one of my favorite things to do. Great one. However, I'm going to counter your Z's because I've done that before. And it makes a really cool, deadly looking wheel. You just take those Z's and stack them in like that. And so you get this kind of like spike up top going around the whole thing. But you can, one of my favorite things to do actually is around the same place, but to get to the shape that we're going to make for this, I'm going to just open one section of my Shashibo into the crown. I'm going to pull these sections kind of open like that, like a book, pushing that bottom piece forward to make my lockjawed star. And then I'm just going to pull the jaw off to the side. Doesn't matter which side, just off to one side. And I'm going to try and make it the same side the whole way around. And so I'm going to take that piece right here and just attach it in that same spot, just like so. That piece does fold back. It has that nice hinge right there. It's a cool one. And I think that there's a way to add some octa in like that as well, but we'll have to see. Oh, and I'm going to do some color coordination here, adding the same design to same design because I want my brain to be happy. There we go. What else do I need? I need some black and white. We're gonna take our disco snail apart. Oh, had it right the first time. A little over halfway done. Octa is not available in the UK yet. Sorry to say. But the yet is major there. We're working on getting it there as soon as possible. Come on, where's my moon, Shashibo? Oh, I completely forgot that I still had all of my moon Shashibo tied up in that build. Crazy. They've been there for like a month now. Over here thinking, I used to have a bunch of these. Hi, Heavy Sound HD. Welcome to the chat. Hey. Look at that. That's a pretty satisfying connection right there. Now, here is the fun bit where we get to see if the octa is going to work in this clamshell. Oh yes, had to rip the band-aid off and do it quick. It works. It's amazing. So we're just going to start stacking our octa. We're going to alternate Atlantis versus Infinity around the whole outside here. Just like so. Beautiful. Oh, that was 2 Atlantis in a row. Who let me do that? Down Flame is making a really cool build right now. Problem is I don't have enough to finish it. There it is, my friend, the problem we all face. I still get to points with over 300 Shashibo where I'm like, oh, if only I had a couple more. Oh, look at that. You can just tuck it all in. That is so satisfying. Guys, we found a cool way to put Octa with the wheel. Wow, when you look at that from the top down, it does not look, it looks almost two-dimensional. That's wild. Anyway, look at that. That's beautiful. I love that. And what's cool is I feel like I could flip this over. Yes, and stand it on that point. And look at that view. That's just gorgeous. Wow. Bet I could put some crowns in like that. Nope. Need some anti-Shibo for that one. Yeah, Kimbo, we're working on it. Save it. I imagine it doesn't happen as much these days, but every once in a while. Every once in a while, even when you have a couple hundred. It's like, oh, I don't want to take apart this build, and I don't want to take apart this build, but I want to keep chasing this thing that I've got going with 6 Shashibo, whatever. Oh, that's another anti-Shibo one right there. Putting the dog over that. Rats. JT, we gotta make it happen. Oh, okay. We gotta set the record straight over here. I hear somebody saying that they can't make any new shapes. Now, it's a Shashibo, I grant you. It takes some real practice. You gotta learn how each of these hinges and sections work. But remember, you're not starting from 0 every time. It's the same cube that we worked with yesterday. So take the things that you learned and apply them. We're gonna think about it like this. When I kind of see these magnetic seams going to a point, I can squeeze on either side of one of those magnetic seams, just like so on those edges. And look, you can see 3 sections coming together at a point and 3 sections coming together at this point on that side, with this nice red color around the outside. And if I open up one of those sections, I make my crown, and you can kind of start to see a few more of these sections and shapes take place. When I open it up into my star, this is where you can really see 3 sections on one side of my star and a second side with 3 sections. These yellow and blue triangles you can see are the same exact shape, and so it stands to reason that in most shapes, those colors would be interchangeable. However, since that green and this red are unique triangles, this one's a right angle triangle, this one's technically an equilateral triangle, 2 equilateral triangles side to side that look like a rhombus. And those are each of the pieces of the Shashibo, each of the elements at play. I know it sounds like I did a lot of talking, but that's really just 4 things going on. 3 if you really think about it, since 2 of those 4 things are interchangeable. And those sections we can manipulate in a couple ways. See how it kind of comes apart at that seam there? We can make some tabs that look hexagonal in that way. Or we could take these 2 sections and we could pass them through the middle. And then if you really want to get it complicated, we could take those sections and have them connect back to back. Maybe let that fold down in some ways. Maybe change the orientation. And look, we're just flipping different pieces of it, and we can get it scrambled in some pretty complex ways, but you can still see outside of your cube, the yellow and the blue that are interchangeable, and that lovely green for the outside of our ball, so you can kind of figure out a little bit of where you're at. And that's the way that I like to explore with Shashibo. Another helpful tip is getting a second Shashibo can really help you, because when you get to a new shape, you can then set it aside and try and get there intentionally with your second Shashibo while you're working on it. Plus, we've got some great quantity discounts going on right now. I think you get like 10% off if you get 2 Shashibo at once. So check it out, guys. Get yourself some Shashibo today and have some self-confidence while you're playing, because you can figure this out. It just takes time. Okay. Now back to this gorgeous thing. How are we doing on Instagram and on TikTok, folks? If you are leaving comments there and frustrated that I'm not responding, please hop over to YouTube or Facebook or something like that. It's much easier for me to see what you guys are saying over there. We're about halfway through this live, so let me know if you guys have any requests. If you're looking for tutorials on anything while you're sticking around. I want to help you guys out, be your friendly neighborhood shashibologist. Oh, somebody over on TikTok said, which color should I get? I would start with something like this one, which has some really nice contrast between all of the different sides. You can see clearly the difference between the outside of the cube versus the outside of the ball. Some of my favorite designs are things like solar, polar, and vapor, that kind of thing. But these ones have a lot of similar colors throughout. And so while an experienced Shashibo shapeshifter may be able to tell the immediate difference between those different sides, if you're a beginner, it may be a challenge. Shashibo Dev says, can you connect Octa to a UFO or a star? Yes, you absolutely can. Show the barn door shape and the split mushroom, and can you do a 4 Shashibo squared build? All right, we're going to try and knock those out one at a time. Thank you for all of those lovely questions, Shashibo Dev. You can connect Shashibo Octa to a UFO or a star. There's a couple of ways that we can do that. Oh, I have to take them off of my beautiful wheel build, but that's okay. We know how to make it for later. Okay, so an easy way is to take this clam shape that I had going on over here and just connect it to all 3 points. You could do this on the UFO and the star. So that's a fun way of getting them connected. There are also some really cool ways to connect around this point. And one of those ways is, do you see this kind of hinge right here? And on this end, we have a similar hinge with those right angle triangles going on. Those right angle triangles will connect right around the outside part of the cube there. And so there's definitely a few ways that we can get those connected. But if you're looking for something a little more solid, one of my favorites is when we're right around this double diamond shape right here. And if you twist that double diamond shape, you can twist it either way. It's a chiral shape. So if it doesn't fit one way, try the other way if you're adding it to a build. And you can take those little pockets that pop up and just fit it right around the point. And that's a really cool one. So all of the things that I just showed you could fit on a star in the same way, pretty much. And there we go. And just to show you, how you could fit this in a regular build. Oh guys, I don't think I've done this before. Hang on. I want to use a different design for this. Let's do artworks. Beautiful design by Lawrence Cartel. Look at that. Hey, Shashibo Dev just led me on the path of discovery. Not hard to do. But that is 3 crowns, 1 UFO totaling 4 Shashibo, and 3 Octa. That's a really nice one. I like the way that interacts. Okay, next question. Show the barn door shape and the split mushroom. All right, for that, I'm going to take this Shashibo right here so it's easier to follow along because those are some pretty complex shapes. So the barn door, first of all, this is a really fun one. We're going to squeeze on either side of our magnetic seam and grab one section of the Shashibo, pulling it straight back into our crown. I'm going to open my crown like a book, just like so, pushing this bottom section forward into the lockjawed star. Now, if I take that lockjaw and I pull it off to the side like this, and it doesn't matter which side, I can pull it off to either side, but I'm looking for a flat face. Sometimes you can get stuck in this shape right here. That's not what we want. We want that guy. So, either way that you take it, we're going to take it that way, okay? And now I'm going to fold the section that I just grabbed. We took our lockjaw, we pulled it off to the side like this. We're going to fold that jaw back, hiding that part of the cube side. And we're going to take this tail right here, but not this one that's also mobile. See how these move? They can move together, but we're going to move them separate, just putting that piece down to make this shape I believe we call the kitty paw. We're going to push on one of the claws of the kitty paw, just like so, pushing that up and through. And I'll show you both sides of what's going on there. When I push that kitty paw, there we go. We get our barn door. And that's why we call it the barn door, is that hinge. Works like a door. And I think because it has this cross, it looks kind of like a barn door, like a classic red barn door. So that's how we make our barn door. Now, for the split mushroom, or the helix, I think we call it, we're going to take our section of the Shashibo, opening it into the crown. We are going to, again, open it like a book, pushing this section forward. I think I want to do this a little bit differently. Instead, we're going to actually take just that bottom section and open that up, letting that back point fall down into the star. And I'm going to take my opposite points of the star, one of them yellow and the other one blue, and I'm going to open them up into this hexagonal tab shape, each one of them. And you can do this simultaneously, actually, pretty easily, like so, to make a shape we call the wave. Now, we just paid attention to two opposite points, and this has mostly the cube in the middle, and we're going to take opposite points of the cube, again, one of them yellow and one of them blue, those opposite points, and we're going to open it up just enough, pushing this piece through, that I can actually fold this point down behind it. Remember, no forcing it. If it doesn't flow, it doesn't go. There is a way to do this without forcing it, and that is to keep it as open as possible while you're getting that point tucked behind there to make our helix, or the split mushroom. And I believe some folks call it the split mushroom because each piece of that shape, each half of it, looks like half of the mushroom. But I feel like this should be called the split mushroom because it's the split mushroom. And the other one is like we can call it the mushroom helix. Maybe we can compromise and call it the mushroom helix. Thank you, yeah. Welcome to the chat. Octa locks UFO within. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that'd be cool, King Ravana. I see it. I see what you're talking about there. I want to do that build that I had with Octa and Shashibo, but I want to do it with a star this time instead. And I am going to use bunch of my Cosmos. These haven't been in my lives enough lately. This is one of my favorite designs we've ever come out with for Shashibo. Just some beautiful artwork. Very colorful. Super fun. And I'm going to make a star with my Cosmos Shashibo. And then I'm going to take my double diamond and I'm going to twist it. This is with the Octa, the Shashibo Octa, the newest member to the Shashibo magnetic puzzle system. And I'm going to take my Octa, opening it up into and folding it back into this double diamond and then twisting it like so. Okay, and I'm going to take my crowns and just put them point in like so. Ooh, with some color coordination, of course, if I can. Which ones don't I have in there? This one, so I need that. I'm looking for two specific designs on the back here, that's why it took me a second. Oh! I took a second and I still did it wrong. That's okay. Alright, there we go. That's one side, and then I'm just going to flip that face down. And I am going to do the same thing on this side. Make some double diamonds, twist them, so it goes back this way. There we go. All right, based around one star, we've got 6 Octa and 6 other Shashibo. And that's pretty dang cool, I'm not gonna lie. That was really fun to put together. And while I'm being gentle with it, it's not super fragile. This is holding together really well. Yeah, thought that the split mushroom was a split helmet. Good to know. I mean, really, guys, listen, you can call stuff whatever you want. If you want me to know what you're talking about some of the time, it would be helpful if we were all calling things the same thing. But, like, you know, call it whatever you want, whatever makes you happy, whatever inspires you, because Shashibo is not a limiting toy. No one over here at Fun in Motion is going to be like, this is the way, and you're only Shashibo purists if you acknowledge this rule. No way. I mean, JT might do that, but I'm pretty chill, so. See if JT is in the comments to defend himself. Someone's got to draw the line somewhere. Yeah, someone's got to rein it in. Otherwise, there's just chaos. Look at that. That's a fun one too. And I could open these up into stars. And this shows off a really cool thing that we could do if, once again, we could build with some Shashibo in an anti-gravity chamber of some kind. Because you could continue to build this this little cluster of octa right here between all of these different points, and just have this web that opens up around around those stars, pointing out in all sorts of different directions. Oh, that'd be so fun. Because it also just cap it off. On the end, like so. Wow, that'd be so fun to just continue building upward into a huge chain. That'd be cool. And I think, yeah, that'll just balance on the end. It was only wobbly because I was holding it. Yeah, man. You know, that fell over and it still is intact, really. Look at that. Beautiful. I want to put like a lightning bolt right through there. Yeah, just like that. And that just gives it even a little bit more stability. But I'm going to keep the lightning bolts the same color, guys. Don't worry. Yeah, I'm definitely saving this. Somebody remind me when I'm live streaming from space, building anti-gravity Shashibo. Hey, Ezra, you wanted to come back with it to this. Octa is locked in. I like that catchphrase. Is that about to be the new slogan of Octa, JT? Octa's locked. I just need one more Cosmos. Wow. Pretty cute. Pretty cute. Oh, it's always so fun to just explore with you guys. Any tutorial requests, though? Anybody wanting to see something in particular? Feel free to let me know if you got any requests. I'll be here for another 40 minutes or so you got some time. And it doesn't have to be for something specific. If you're just looking for like a new thing to do with a certain number of Shashibo, or if you're looking for a specific style of build. Yo, Connie's in the chat. What's up? Bruh, 6 Shashibo builds. I got you. 6 Shashibo build was requested by TikTok. Awesome. We got 2 requests for a 6 Shashibo build. Let's do it. Oh, that was a beautiful one. And which 6 Shashibo are we going to use? I'm liking these Cosmos ones. Let's keep it going. So, 6 Shashibo builds. Let's see. I know that there is a 6 Shashibo build that I've showed off a couple of times on here, and so I will avoid it if you guys don't want it. There's a 6 Shashibo build with the shark fin. That's a really cool one. I'm trying to remember because I know that there are. I just don't think of that number very often. But I know that there are a couple of cool things that you can do when you connect to crowns. That's always a nice one. I'm going to take just 6 crowns, nice and easy. Connect them end to end like that. Ooh. Those are just 1 magnet per connection. Thought I had done this without using an anchor, but maybe I did. There it is. Okay. Yeah, it holds. Just got to be careful with it. Similarly, you can flip it over this way. So that's a fun one with 6 Shashibo. There's a cool one with snails. Okay. Yes, there's definitely a cool one with snails, if I remember correctly. I do want to show you guys, just for posterity's sake, the one with the shark fins, in case you haven't seen it already. And if you don't know how to make a shark fin with Shashibo, we're just going to try and open it up into our loose ring, which means we're going to take all 3 sections from one side of our star and pass them through the middle one at a time to make our inside-out ring here. Collapse that ring down the middle to make the snake. Open up that part of the snake and let this piece connect underneath. Take the tail right here and slap it down on one side or the other. Doesn't matter, as long as you're going in the same direction each time. And then you just take all 3 points of that fin and start connecting them in this spiral fashion. If you want to see how they're being connected, it's taking this side of your fin and connecting it right on top here. Twisting it up and connecting it down just like that. And that gives us these 2 kind of cool spiral sections, and then you can take that piece right there. Yes, the one that looks like a hive on top and bottom. That is a really cool one. I gotta see if I can remember how to do that, but I'm fairly certain that it is built using that shape right there. And you want the chiralities going in all kinds of different directions here. We want to just make sure that we're making it a mirrored version. just like so. And I'm trying to remember how. Yes, maybe. This is only 5, so oh, here we go. I remember now. So we're taking, yeah, we're doing 2 chiralities of snails the whole way around. Hang on just a second. Wait for my brain to figure out what I'm doing wrong here. Because it's something. I think it was maybe the first connection that I did. So we've got this. And we need oh no. See, this is the trouble sometimes of playing with Shashibo for so long that you get to a point where you just forget some of the builds. I think maybe it isn't all snails, and there's just some, domes in there. Because this is the shape that I'm thinking of. Oops. Gotta flip my polarity around. This is the shape that I'm thinking of. Let me know if you were thinking of a different one, but this is also 6 Shashibo. 4 of them in the snails and 2 of them in the dome. You can split it in half like that. But if I remember correctly, that's one of them. Different one? Yeah, that makes sense. It looks like a hive on top and bottom, and it would have to be different. Because that would be something like this. But if I remember correctly, they're closer together than that. And I feel like maybe it was something to do with this, because that's bringing more of a bell. Maybe that's what we call the snail and not this. Yeah, that's the thing. Jeez. Well, maybe not. Still some cool stuff that you can make with 6, I will say. You make a hive with 3 snails and then repeat the process and stick them together. All right. What? But you only need 2 Shashibo to make a snail, and it's 6 shapes, and it looks like 2 snails pushed together. I'm just having trouble understanding what that is you're talking about. And I'm realizing now that the shape that I was recognizing with these is, I believe, something else. Oh no. Been playing with Shashibo for so long that I've forgotten what I've found sometimes. That's okay. That's a cool one. So you can take, that's a cool 12 Shashibo shape, is you can basically make that again, and then just slide each of those pieces through the middle. As per usual, when I can't figure out what you guys are commenting, put it in the Discord. Can't wait to see what you're talking about. So that's a cool one right there. You can keep taking those and connecting them the whole way around. Not technically a 6 Shashibo shape, but double that. And you can make it with half the cubes. Just don't finish it, you know? That's a note, isn't it? Oh, this shape? It does look a little bit like a quarter note. I see what you're saying. So that's a really cool 12 Shashibo shape. And it breaks out into these really cool 2 Shashibo shapes, which is always fun. Because you can also connect those. Oop. Oh, interesting, yeah. Can't connect that in a third. Interesting. But you can connect those sides together, and then like that. Boom. Oh, shoot. Loading. There we go. Yes, an easy 6 barn door build for sure. That's a cool one too. Okay. I'm gonna take one more run at this sandwich hive thing. But you're saying you make 2 of these and you just stack them together. And I'm having trouble understanding what that means. Maybe like that is what you're talking about. But that's, again, 4 Shashibo, not 6. Exactly. Yeah is exactly right. Every time Yeah says something, I'm like, yeah. It's a good name. It's accurate. That's what I like about it. Ooh, I think that's a 6 Shashibo build, although it doesn't magnetize quite. Ooh, I did just remember a 6 Shashibo build. This is a cool one. Okay, so first we're going to learn how to make a shape called Thomas's box. You've probably seen Thomas's box before. It's been a while since we brought it up on a live, so I think it has been plenty long since we did a tutorial on that. And if you're starting from your cube, which is just the shape that it comes packaged in, not the solution, remember, we're going to take one section of our Shashibo, open it up into the crown. We're going to open up the crown like a book, just like so, and then pull this bottom section of that book straight down away from the top. And see these 2 sections left over with that little hole in the gap there? We're going to just pass those 2 sections through one at a time to make our ring, our completely inside out ring. And I'm going to take my ring and I am going to bring all 3 points of the ring into the center, just like so. And I'm going to pinch 2 sections of that UFO, the shape that we just made, pinch 2 of them and twist them down to the side to make this kind of wonky piece right here with a completely flat side, okay? And we're going to do that a couple times. And you can take that piece and you can pinch it down in either direction that you want to. The only important thing is that you do it in the same direction every time, okay? So, now that we've got our Shashibo boxes, our Thomas's boxes, we're going to take 2 flaps, we're going to open them one at a time, just like so. One more, at an angle, and you see how these 2 are at the same angle. I made 2 of the same angles instead of mirroring ones. I'm going to switch that. I'm going to reverse that mistake and make sure that it is a mirrored design. There we go. Now we can connect those together just like so. And it's at this stage that Ezra remembered that this is an 8 Shashibo shape and not a 6 Shashibo shape, which is a huge bummer. But I will show you how far you can get with 6 Shashibo. Sorry, folks. Been a second since I did this one. Here's how I would finish it with a 6. Oh no. And even that isn't going quite as I expected it to. Oh, folks, one of those days. There we go. That's how I'm going to make this a 6 Shashibo build. Look at how intentional and beautiful that is. I'll show you what I did there, folks. I took 2 of these pieces right here, which are shark fins that I just folded this section back on, just like so. And that gives me these 2 pieces that I can fold and kind of mesh into each other. And then I just fold that flap over to make this kind of geometric heart shape. It's my favorite Shashibo heart, personally. And I'm just gonna attach it right on top here, and then let these 2 pieces fold up on it. And then you get that kind of cool, like, angled box looking section with our spade on this side. There we go. I don't think that the shape that I was talking about, I did say just this shape because I don't remember the name. Maybe it's called the wedge or something like that. I can't really remember. I'm good at remembering how to make shapes. I'm bad at remembering names. Which is true with people as well. I'm very good at remembering like things about the people that I care about, but it's so embarrassing when I don't remember their name or how old they are or their birthday or whatever. The heart with the Shashibo squared is also possible, yes. It's a heck of a useful one too. It's one of those ones like the box that actually have 2 different geometric orientations of the same end result, essentially, right? Like this is a box and so is the other one, but this one is a completely different geometry than the other one when you start to take it apart. This one's just a folded up ribbon, whereas the other one is a twist and a twist and a twist and a twist, right? So similarly, we have one way of making the heart like this, and you'll notice we've got red, yellow, blue in series. So it doesn't matter where we fold those sections, but we're going to have that same thing. Completely different way of making the heart is this one right here. Hang on. There it is. There it is. So we're taking our ribbon, twisting it, bringing on these two sides, and twisting that again to let it fold down. And now you see we have red, yellow, and blue, symmetrical. So if I move one of these sections, that actually changes up the whole vibe. So 2 different geometrical ways of getting to the same thing. And I love finding different ways to do that in the Shashibo squared. And you can kind of get to that one by twisting. I just followed it back. That's one of the things I like about Shashibo squared. Is we can just kind of walk it back to see how we got there. So, other than that last piece, it's just twist, 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 twist. Close it up. So that's a really cool one. You are absolutely right. Lots can be done with that half of a Thomas's box shape. That thing is super useful. Super useful. I mean, partly because it's compact, partly because it has so many different magnetisms and geometries facing out. The only thing that I can think of that it isn't directly compatible with is the cube, and even that, I don't know, I just think. And now that I make that shape, I can see that it has the same compatibility with the cube that the ball does when it comes to connecting that magnetic tab. I hear I hear that this seems like a cheat, right? Because it's just a magnetic connection, flat face to flat face, but listen, it holds solid, man. Who are you to say that it doesn't work? It's one of the few instances where you can take a piece of the Shashibo that is a different geometry and can connect it in a really satisfying way to another triangle. Completely different geometry. Can you do the hive quickly? Yes, my friend, I absolutely can do the hive quickly. The hive is a really fun one to get to out of the box. It's nice and smooth because you're just taking one section and then opening and opening and opening, and you can kind of do that with I do it with the tip of my thumb, the tip of my other thumb, and moving the thumb that just did that first section down. I do that back section to make a hive. Let's do that quick. Oh, I kind of fumbled it a little bit. Maybe a little quicker than that. But that's a really fun one. And if you are just asking how to make it, then we're just going to take one section of the cube and open it up into the crown. And then take these bottom sections that are still connected here and pull them apart, letting that section in the back drop down so that we make our star. The star is a great landing zone to see. We've got 3 sections on one side of the star, and flip it over to the other side, and we've got another 3 sections. And if I open up all 3 sections from one side of my star into those tab shapes, and then let all of those pieces in the middle connect, I've made my hive. And the hive spins, which is a lot of fun. If you want a little bit of a faster or sturdier spin, you can just take your UFO, which has these 3 points that match these 3 indentations right here. Put one inside the other and give it a real spin, and that's a lot of fun to build. I always wish that I could just give away Shashibo for free. What a beautiful world we would live in if all I had to do was just give a bunch of Shashibo away. That would be so fun. But unfortunately, we're a company that has to like make a profit and try and stay fiscally responsible in some capacity. So you gotta buy them, and we need to charge enough to compensate for all of the labor and materials and shipping and all of that kind of thing. That's my bad. I wish we could do it all for free, but nope. I'm sorry, my friend. Ask Jeff Bezos. That guy's got, or Elon Musk, or one of those guys with some money. They can start giving away things for free. But for me, I'm unfortunately a normal person. We get a lot of comments at Fun in Motion, and you know, I'm not taking it too seriously. I want to be clear, guys. But we do get a lot of comments about stuff like that, and I feel like maybe more than some of the big guys do. And it's important for me, I feel, to mention that while we seem like a huge company that's got it all put together and are having all of this headway and progress and that kind of thing, which we are, those things are true. But that is a very small company doing a very big thing. We are not a very big company. There's like 30 of us that work at Fun in Motion Toys, and we are all working constantly to make sure that you guys are having the best shape-shifting or flow experience that you possibly can with our products. So please, if you are feeling frustrated with us, give us a chance to help you out and just communicate the way that you're feeling about what's going on, because we will help you, okay? We want the best for you. We want a happier and healthier world. So have some patience, have some kindness, and we'll all get through this together, all right? We do need a host for the, we do absolutely need the Zero G Shape Summit. We need Bezos or somebody with more money and resources than me. I agree. Man, that Shape Summit is going to be so good, guys. I wonder how much of the Shashibo community we could get on electric unicycles before the Shape Summit happens, though. Joshua N. Halderman. Yeah, I know you want it for free, my friend. Listen, I appreciate all of the commenting and engagement that you're doing, my friend, but I do want to make sure that I'm not missing anybody who's asking me some real questions, okay? So I will mute you if you don't stop spamming. Thank you, David. I really appreciate that. And I want to let you know that I really appreciate all that you have done for the Shashibo community. You know what, I just realized I've been building off screen for this whole time. I was putting another bunch of these game controllers up on top here. Sorry about that, didn't mean to hide it from you. Wavy those in. Yeah, the shape, we've been talking about it for years. JT and I want to have a shape summit with all the Shashibologists where you can either virtually or in person attend, and we can all talk about shapes, make cases for whether something is or is not a valid connection, make a case for whether something is or is not a valid shape. I've already got a whole presentation on weaving with Shashibo. I know JT's got a lot about the way that Shashibo flows and that kind of thing. I know that there are some people who would love to talk about the way that the art makes them feel, the way that the magnets make them feel, that kind of thing. It would be so much fun. There will be electric Harley unicycles. Whoa, crazy. I didn't know Harley made those. I was just doing these loose game controllers on top there, but I could also tuck those two loose sections behind each other to make that bow tie shape right there. And then when I attach it, it just naturally falls down to one side, which is always fun. So I'll just make another couple of those. And when it falls down, the shape that it makes is called the Queen's Crown. Which is just another beautiful connection between the wheel and some other shapes. And you know, I had to take all of my octa off of here, so I could add them back on in a different way this time. I kind of want to do the clams again, but I want to put them on this side instead. Yeah, that's nice. Gonna keep that going. Oh. Oh, hang on. I want to keep my alternating pattern going again. I'm just taking these clams and I'm snapping them in right on top here. It's got that really satisfying fit. Oh, one more. Okay. Oh, hey Ezra, when you were at the Berkeley Live, you showed us Shashibo squared on the wheel. Can you build that out? Yeah, that'd be fun. Let's do that. Hang on. Well, let me cook on this. Now I understand the order of your comments. Yeah, let me cook on this real quick. I'm going to finish it up. And then, yeah, absolutely, we'll add some Shashibo squared on here. Thanks for bringing that back up. Where will the summit city of Shashibo be held? Dude, who knows? It's not even a real thing yet. When it happens, I'll tell you. Oh. Just had one more octa lying around. There we go. I like this. Oh, no, 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 no. Stop. Don't do that. There we go. Look at that. That's so cool. Now I'm going to set it on these queen's crowns. And yet again, we just get this beautiful presentation on the other side. Okay. Let's take it all out of here. Clear. And add some Shashibo squared in there. How many Shashibo squared I got? I think what I did in Berkeley was just add cubes on the outside, which is a really fun one. I may not have as many Shashibo squared here as I did in Berkeley. But look, I mean, that's already a really nice presentation. The nice thing about Shashibo squared is there are a few shapes that I would be able to add onto here that if I didn't have enough Shashibo squared to make more, I could make them out of regular Shashibo. Gotta free up my Shashibo squared from the other build. Kimba, I will accept you into the Discord as soon as I'm not live streaming, my friend. Well, or maybe tomorrow sometime. I'll try and remember to do it after I finish live streaming, but we'll see. Oh my goodness, I kicked my freaking camera again. I'm gonna lose it. Okay. There we go. And I guess I'm not one Shashibo squared short. Found another one. Heck yeah. Boom. Ah, rats. We can get it. We can get it. That's a tough one. There's a lot of weight and only 2 magnets holding it up. There it is for a moment, though. That looks kind of nice. Ooh, that would be a cool one. So that is kind of making the L thing here and pulling this section back and then pulling that back to make that ring shape. So we pull this section back and then we pull that back. Oh, did I do it differently this time somehow? I did do it differently this time somehow. What did I do differently this time? Perhaps, yes. Nope. What the heck? Okay. Guys, what am I doing? Am I having a stroke right now? Oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry, I gotta take this one off real quick and just kind of make sure I'm getting the right thing. This was gonna be a cool little quick add-on right at the end of the live. But instead I'm having a breakdown. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna come back to that. I'll rewatch that end part, see if I can figure it out. But that is the end of the live for us tonight. Thank you guys so much for hanging out through some pretty cool builds. We've got some questions about what the next invention of the Shashibo is, and you'll see. You'll just have to wait and see. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I will see you next time on our live on Saturday. Or not on Saturday, on Thursday. So if you would like to check us out the next time we are live, check us out on Thursday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can't wait to see you guys there. Be there or be square. And you want to be cute.